This tutorial covers Bluetooth connection and the basic configuration of all SafetyCalm IQ signs. Note that the Bluetooth connection will vary depending on device and operating system. I'm using Windows 10 in this guide. With your Bluetooth device connected and turned on, select Settings from the Start menu. In the Control panel, select Devices and then the Bluetooth option. Windows will begin searching automatically for nearby devices to pair with. All SafetyCalm signs are indicated by a 16-digit serial number found on the back of the display. Select your device to begin the pairing process. Windows will ask for a pairing key. By default, the key is 1, 2, 3, 4. Windows will confirm a successful connection. With the device paired, you can now launch SafetyCalm. Select Connect by Bluetooth. SafetyCalm will search for all available devices. Note that this may take a couple of seconds. Select the previously paired device. Enter the correct user number and case-sensitive password. Note the default credentials can be found in the SafetyCalm help file. When successfully logged in, the general sign info box will be populated with sign info. The initial launch screen displayed is simply a reporting of the sign's current settings. To make changes, select the Edit Display button. We can now configure the display to best suit the roadway it is installed on. Starting at the top left, the display mode selects the intended operation of the sign. On mode indicates that the radar and display are on, the most typical setting. Stealth indicates the radar will count traffic, but no display will be given to drivers. Test mode turns on the display in a diagnosis sequence. Demo mode turns on the display in a simulation sequence. And finally, the static modes will act as a variable speed limit sign. Next, you can select a brightness offset. All IQ signs adjust brightness for ambient light, but you can offset the automatic adjustment by a factor of 16. Moving down, we can set our 4 speed thresholds. Each threshold should be set to increase the warning displayed to violating drivers. Note that one threshold cannot be set higher than the next. For instance, the minimum speed cannot be set higher than the speed limit. Starting at the maximum speed, set the highest detected speed the sign will display, typically 30 above the speed limit. Above this setting, the sign will not display the driver's speed. Next, the excess speed can be set to increment the warning to violators. Typically, this is set 5 to 10 above the limit. The speed limit is the actual speed limit of the roadway. Finally, the minimum speed is the lowest speed the sign will display. Any driver going below the speed will not see a display. Working to the right, the display options can be set for each threshold. When a driver crosses over a threshold, the options at right will determine what is displayed. The display option can be set to a blank display, the driver's speed, or the speed limit. The display color can be set to amber or red on the IQ 1500. Otherwise, the only option is amber. The flash mode can be selected to flash or display steadily the driver's speed. Turning the strobe mode option on will activate the selected strobe function below. For each threshold, you can select from a strobing digit, a slow down message, a happy emoticon, a sad emoticon, or combinations of these. Note that with the strobe option on, the display will alternate the driver's speed and the strobe. Moving on, the log min and log max can be manually set to adjust the breakdown of data in the speed logs. For more info on this, watch the video titled SafetyCalm Data Reporting. The vandal detection can be turned on to log a loud sound event if the sign is struck. The beacon mode can be set to trigger an external device. For more info on this, watch the video titled IQ Sign Beacon and Device Output. The squelch is the sensitivity of the display. 100 is a good value for most installations, but adjustment may be necessary especially when collecting data. The higher the set number, the less sensitive the sign will be. Finally, you can set the unit of measure. The configuration is now ready for the road. Select to update the display to send the changes. The window will close once updated. Back on the launch screen, it is critical to click the Save Configuration button in the upper right corner. Finally, we need to set the clock and power input of the sign to ensure consistent operation. From the Edit menu, select Display Setup. In the Setup window, click the Set Clock button. The clock will be set to the values at right, which are pulled from the PC's time. Also, select the applicable power profile that will be used. This will ensure that the sign will operate as expected. There are several other options here where the default values are best practice. Be sure to exit out of the display window. The sign is now set up with a simple configuration and is ready to be used in the field.